Mr. Pearce. Thank you for accepting our invitation to participate in this online conference. What issues do you think family clients would most likely to address or solve when they considering Singapore immigration plans?
Well, the first thing that they will consider is probably whom in the family is going to settle in Singapore, the principal applicant himself or herself, whether the spouse is coming, whether the parents are coming along, how many children they have, the gender of the children, because there are certain implications when you decide to choose Singapore as a destination.
Yes.
And the options. So in Singapore right now, if we talk about direct permanent residences, there are 3 options. So they need to know if they fit into any of the options.
Yes.
So usually this combination of factors and the certainty in acquiring, like, for example, the permanent residency status, whether they are going to invest in a business, expand their existing business, set up a family office, or they are going to just invest into one of the funds that is available from the government. I believe these are the decisions that in the initial consultation, we will usually cover all of them and understand their desires, their demands, what they hope to achieve by coming to Singapore.
Yes.
And from there, they will usually make an informed decision. Out of, for example, 100 families that we consult, for a family that clearly qualifies for whatever is prescribed as per our current immigration policy, I would believe the qualification rate is about 10 to 15%. And then out of the 10 to 15%, usually about a 30 to 40% will decide and move ahead immediately. And we have seen families that take years to decide. End of the day, moving to another country is a huge decision.
Yes.
It's a decision that is bigger than many other things because it's going to change your lives for generations to come.
Yes.
So I would believe I have roughly covered what most of the considerations of our high net worth or ultra high net worth clients will be.
Yes. You are really experienced experts in the field of Singapore immigration plans. There is another personal question. Mr. Pearce, we knew you and your company have served many very famous people and very famous families. Do you plan your career for yourself? And what are your priorities for allocating your own time and energy? This is a personal question for you, being a very successful family immigration expert.
I wouldn't say that we are very successful. I guess, like, if I believe, Ted, you and I were in similar business. Yes, and our business was definitely affected by COVID. Not in terms of demand, but in terms of destination services. So during COVID, most of the countries' borders in the world were closed. So even if a client had very clear desire that he wanted to move or he or she wanted to move, it was impossible to move. So that made our business suffer badly for a good coming to 2 years, right? So I would be very proud to say that pre-COVID, 𝐸𝐈𝐆 was a very successful business. But post-COVID, I think we are currently in the recovery phase. But I believe we'll get there again. It's a very sad. I appreciate the question, and I think it's a very, very good question. But I think it makes me a little bit sad to think about 2 things. Okay, number one, the way I allocated my time is probably 80-20, where 80% goes to work and 20% goes to family. That's one. And I think, honestly and sadly, with the departure of our China head, Amos Rao, I'm probably going to have to spend more time now in China to make sure that like the handover is smoother. Priorities change, and I think, like, oh my God, you put everything into the business, you could just lose everything. So I have to become a bit more conservative.
Yes, the similar thing happened in China too.
I'm sure
many Chinese entrepreneurs they reinvest most of their profit or the money they earned from their business into their business because they want to earn more. But during the COVID or something unexpected happened, they knew firstly the most important thing is their health and their family, and then there is their businesses. They need to save more for their family and for their own health, and then they can reinvest into their businesses. Thank you for sharing and for being willing to participate in our online sharing, Mr. Pearce. Thank you very much.
No, it's my pleasure.